21 years ago, a boy called Oscar was born with a rare condition that meant his feet were severely deformed. His parents faced a terrible choice: watch him grow up unable to walk, or amputate in the hope of a better future with artificial legs.
To cut those feet off and throw it in the dustbin was not a nice feeling.
But Oscar Pistorius would grow up not just able to walk, but to become one of the world's fastest athletes, faster than any other disabled runner that's ever lived. And still, he wants more. He wants to be the fastest man in the world, with or without legs, and compete in the Olympics. But now his dream is under threat.
They say the Paralympics exist for people like you.
It does exist for people like me, but I think if I can cross the boundary, why not?
Critics say he should not be allowed to compete against able-bodied runners. This film follows Oscar over a year that could change his life. Is Oscar a truly extraordinary athlete? Or do his prosthetic legs give him an unfair advantage? It's November 2007. A racetrack in Germany is being prepared, not for a race, but for a unique scientific investigation. Oscar Pistorius has been running for just 4 years. But in disabled sport at least, he's already achieved everything he could hope for.
I haven't lost a 200-meter race ever. The only way that I can get better, the only way that I see myself, bettering my times and running on a competitive field at the moment with the international able-bodied athletes.
No amputee has ever been fast enough to even think of running in able-bodied competitions before. But this is the problem for Oscar. His determination to do so has turned the world of athletics upside down. Now the authorities have to decide what gives Oscar his speed, his prosthetic running blades, or a remarkable natural talent.
So what I'll do is I'll count back 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything looks good. All systems clear.
Oscar's taking a huge risk. If the tests prove the blades give him a significant advantage, it would devalue his outstanding achievements so far, and perhaps rob him of his future as a professional athlete.
Okay, whenever you are so far.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Okay.
But if the tests show the blades to be a disadvantage, that would make him one of the greatest athletes who ever lived. Why is Oscar so determined to put himself through this ordeal? Perhaps the answer lies in his background in Pretoria, South Africa.
I've got 3 pairs of prosthetics that I use and about 15 pairs that I've tried out and that I have lying around. I've got these pair that are everyday walking prosthetics. They do look very battered because I've been motorbike riding and stuff with them. This one's even got a burn from the exhaust, I think.
Do you think of yourself as disabled?
No, I don't think. I think because I might have 1 or 2 disabilities, I've got a million of other abilities. I don't think I should let the disability that I have overshadow the abilities that I have.
When I think of Oscar, I don't think of disability at all. I mean, Oscar is the type of person that can do anything, and he will do everything that he thinks about or puts his mind to. There's nothing disabled about him.
According to his brother, Oscar has never allowed his disability to hold him back.
Being so close at age, you want to do stuff together. We had a lot of adventures together, from the sand pit to bike racing to the tree house, running on the beach, having races on the sand. You've always had someone to spur you on. In fact, he's probably more adventurous than half of my friends.
Being so competitive, it gives him a lot of drive, and he really hates losing. I don't think he sees any limits for himself.
Oscar's competitive relationship with his able-bodied brother has pushed him to do things that could seem out of reach to someone with no legs.
You can actually take your legs off. Take your leg off. I wonder if this is an advantage.
Just don't break his foot.
Pull that thing back.
Despite the obvious difficulties, he's determined to get on the water.
Okay, you ready?
In the end, his rigid prosthetics make wakeboarding impossible. But he's not prepared to give up easily.
And we can do it, Oscar.
Knees up, hey? Like you're sitting on your bum. Okay.
Oscar's competitive nature goes some way to explaining his success. But all athletes have to be competitive. What's intriguing about Oscar is the possibility that it's his disability itself that makes him such an extraordinary athlete.
Hey, right, come, knee action. Come on, 6, 7, 8. Good. That's great.
Oscar Pistorius is the fastest Paralympic athlete ever to have lived. Now he wants to do what no disabled man has done before: to run at the able-bodied Olympics.
But we need to work on the start. You start too slow, huh? That's where the 1 second is gone. This guy is special. Just believe me. It will never happen again for a guy to run in an Olympic able-body final without legs.
But Oscar could do it.
He can do it, yeah. Come. Pull.
Oscar is freaking fast. It's crazy.
Pull.
One of those guys just gets quicker and quicker throughout the race. It's normally quite scary, because it pulls away slowly and then you just hear those blades coming from behind you. And then afterwards the noise sort of fades because he's about 20 yards ahead of you.
So how can a man without legs be so fast? Could it be that Oscar's rare birth defect has uniquely equipped him for speed?
I saw it when he was born. Neither the nurse nor the doctor saw it. And I held him when his umbilical cord was cut, and I told the doctor there was something different about his feet.
Oscar's condition is very, very rare. The fibula was missing, and the whole lateral side of his foot was also missing. In other words, what he had was 2 toes and the bones on the inside of his foot and a heel. The debate was whether to reconstruct or whether to amputate. For parents to make the decision to amputate their child's feet is a hugely emotional thing. And not only that, but what we believe is that the amputation should be done before the child is walking, so that the child, in fact, never has the idea of walking on feet.
Oscar was very ticklish. Now, to cut those feet off and throw it in the dustbin was not a nice feeling. It's hard. And what about if that guy's 21 one day and he said to you, who gave you the right to have my feet amputated?
The foot was taken off at the ankle. What you need to do, in fact, is to place weight-bearing skin under the stump. And in this particular instance, we took the heel pad, so we shelled out the heel and put that pad over the end of the stump. But by doing that, Oscar has got a weight-bearing stump, and he can walk without a prosthesis, and I've certainly seen him running on the beach at Mshlanga Rocks.
His miraculous recovery after that, the speed with which he grew into his little prosthesis that had no feet, just like Captain Hook. He was running all the time. He never walked. It's as if he couldn't walk.
There was never a time that I sat down with him and was like, you know, what happened to my legs, or, you know, why don't I have legs, or anything like that. I mean, if anything, there are a lot of advantages that I can think of. So, you know, I never twisted an ankle or anything like that, stubbed a toe. You know, whenever somebody stubs a toe or, you know, comes and they're like, oh, they got a sore ankle or whatever, it's nothing that I ever felt.
Oscar grew up trying to fit into the able-bodied world of his brother and friends. But he had to work his short stumps harder to keep up. In doing this, he was developing a unique athletic physique without even knowing.
His leg movement had to be so much faster to actually get up to the same pace as anybody else, whether it was me or one of his friends that he might have been playing with in the garden or racing against on the beach. So he's developed a very natural, fast leg movement, which is obviously counted in his favour.
The first day I saw him run, I thought, hey, I can work with this. You know why? As a sprint coach, I saw his leg speed.
When it comes to speed, especially sprinting, your arms, your upper body works just as hard as your lower body.
When Oscar was a schoolboy, he almost benched 100 kilograms. So he was very strong for a sprinter. He's very strong upper body.
Obviously, being a little kid, we had a bunk bed, and all he had was, he didn't have feet to jump up. He's used his upper body, and he gets a lot of power from that.
The challenges of fitting into an able-bodied world had prepared Oscar for a life in athletics since the very day his feet were cut away. And the confidence with which he did so came from his parents.
My mum always said to us, the phrase "I can't" doesn't exist. And I think that's one of the things my parents really taught my brother, sister and I from a very young age. Helped me become the person that I am today.
In 1999, Oscar's mother spoke to local radio of her pride at her son's attitude to life and the way he fitted in at able-bodied school.
Oscar is my middle son. He's 14 years old now, and he was born with missing bones in the legs, and with God's help has gone from strength to strength. At primary school, he played soccer and tennis. He did wall climbing, abseiling, rollerblading, water skiing, ice skating, paddle skiing, you name it. He just did everything. And he's agile and a well-balanced teenager with a delightful sense of humor. He's a practical joker and not at all bitter.
But Sheila Pistorius has never seen her son's greatest achievements. Soon after the radio interview was recorded, and without warning, she died. Oscar was 15 years old.
She was a very warm, spontaneous, kind of wild person. And I think that spontaneity is something they deeply missed. But I think mostly Oscar dealt with it by being with his friends. And he didn't say much about it, really. I think Oscar's a person who is quite self-sufficient in a way. He does things on his own. And I think he still is a bit like that.
My mum passed away before I started running, so, you know, in a way I wish she was still here to see it, but I've no doubt that she's obviously watching down from heaven, so things happen in life for a reason.